Imagine this: Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. These countries were formerly a part of Mexico, in a time and place that many people have long since forgotten. These weren't merely adjacent nations. Rather, they were provinces inside the expansive Captaincy General, often known as the Kingdom of Guatemala, a Spanish dominion. This colorful tapestry has the countries of Central America, which includes Nicaragua, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. These were formerly unified under the territory of Mexico, a chapter in history that is often forgotten. However, the story of their quest for independence is an ambitious one. After Central America was freed from Spanish dominion in 1821, Emperor Agustín de Iturbide included it in the Mexican Empire. On the other hand, Iturbide's rule was both short and totalitarian. His authoritarian style soon infuriated the leaders of Central America. These people yearned for independence and self-government. Iturbide's dominion fell by 1823, creating a power vacuum that was ready for transformation. The provinces of Central America saw an opening and took it to proclaim their independence. They established the Federal Republic of Central America, which would allow them to govern themselves. The goal of this federation was to promote mutual progress and collaboration by uniting the disparate provinces under one governmental roof. As soon as political divisions and regional rivalry emerged, so did tensions. These would eventually cause the union to fall apart. This resulted from leaders' inability to strike a balance between local interests and the broader good. The notion of a single, unified Central America had faded by 1838. The Federal Republic of Central America had a brief existence, but it made a lasting impression on the continent. It gave rise to a sense of national identity among its citizens, while setting the stage for a better political system. The historical and cultural bonds that unite these nations continue to bear the imprint of this federation. Central Americans were evidently proud of their identity, and they wanted to express it while being free from Mexican rule. Although this wasn't impossible, it did come with its fair set of challenges. Here's how they managed to do that. These essential regions were perfectly positioned for self-governance once Iturbide's reign was over in 1823. Declaring itself independent of Mexico, Central America established the Federal Republic of Central America. Their aspiration for regional autonomy was seen in the new federation. This sought to establish a single political body that represented their common beliefs and objectives. Notwithstanding the pressure at first, the federation encountered formidable obstacles. Internal differences were also elevated by the distinct regional identities that had brought them together. The stability of the federation was eventually threatened by tensions and conflicts resulting from political and economic disputes among the provinces. The Federal Republic of Central America disintegrated by 1838, making room for the creation of several nation-states. The political and cultural landscape of the region is still shaped by the legacy of this fight for autonomy. This reflects the nations of Central America's enduring yearning for independence and unification. Let us now take a look at the economic factors that resulted in the separation of Central America from Mexico. The economic policies implemented by Iturbide were perceived as unfavorable by the Central American elite. High tariffs and taxes imposed by the Mexican government were seen as demotivating for the local economy. These measures stopped trade and hindered economic growth in the Central American provinces. This was a big disadvantage since their economies were heavily reliant on exporting agricultural products to international markets. The economic strain was worsened by Mexico's attempts to centralize tax control. This limited the financial autonomy of the Central American provinces. Furthermore, the infrastructure in Central America was not as developed as in Mexico, making it difficult for the provinces to benefit from Mexican economic policies. The lack of investment in infrastructure, such as roads and ports, hindered the efficient transportation of goods, further straining the region's economy. The economic disparity between the provinces and the Mexican core fueled resentment and a desire for economic self-determination. Despite its eventual dissolution, The brief period of the Federal Republic of Central America laid the groundwork for future economic development. It highlighted the importance of economic autonomy and the need for policies that reflect the unique economic landscape of the region. This quest for economic self-determination played a crucial role in shaping the political and economic identity of the Central American nations. One of the major issues was the inefficiency in revenue collection, which persisted despite changes in tariffs. These tariff adjustments were minor and aimed at promoting products like primary indigo, which had minimal production impact in the 19th century. Interestingly, the same director managed revenue collection from 1799 through independence, leading to inconsistent taxation laws. The decline in revenue was a widespread issue across the region, suggesting it wasn't due to any single conspiracy, but rather a systemic problem. While occasional distortions in revenue collection occurred, they didn't affect the overall downward trend seen throughout Central America. As British influence expanded, the economy of Central America faced additional pressures. The decline in revenue wasn't just confined to areas impacted by contraband, but was a widespread issue. Contemporary accounts confirm a general and constant economic decline, highlighting the challenges faced by the region during this period. Finally, one of the most important reasons for the separation of Central America from Mexico was the influence brought about by liberal ideas. Central America's separation from Mexico was significantly influenced by the spread of liberal ideas among its people. These ideas, which emphasized individual freedoms, economic independence, and democratic governance, played a crucial role in driving the provinces toward independence. Central American elites sought greater political autonomy and democratic governance, distinct from Mexico's centralized and often authoritarian rule under Emperor Agustín de Iturbide. They envisioned a government where power was distributed more equally and local leaders had a say in their own affairs. This desire for self-governance and representation was common among the people. The economic policies imposed by Mexico were seen as restrictive and hurtful toward Central America. High tariffs and centralized control hurt local businesses and trade. Central Americans pushed for economic independence, free trade, and the removal of taxes. They believed that a liberal economic policy would promote growth, development, and prosperity by allowing the free flow of goods and services without heavy-handed interference from a distant government. Liberals in Central America, who were influenced by Enlightenment intellectuals, fought for individual rights and civil liberty. They promoted the defense of individual liberties, such as the right to assemble, free speech, and the freedom of the press. These rights were seen to be necessary for building a harmonious and just society free from dictators, where people may live happy, fulfilling lives. Secularism and the separation of church and state were other causes championed by the liberal movement in Central America. They thought that religious influence in politics impeded freedom of thought and advancement. They sought to guarantee that laws and policies were founded on logical and secular principles, and to lessen the church's influence over political decisions by encouraging secular governance. Together, these progressive ideas propelled Central America's quest for independence from Mexico. The region's authorities and citizens wanted to establish a society that prioritized economic growth, political freedom, individual rights, secular government, and improvement in education. The collapse of Iturbide's empire in 1823 provided the perfect opportunity for Central Americans to break away and pursue these ideals, leading to the formation of the Federal Republic of Central America. This period of liberal experimentation laid the groundwork for the development of the independent nations we know today, each with its unique path shaped by the quest for these liberal principles. Did you like this video? Make sure to give it a like and share it with your friends. See you soon in the next one.